the past is done, you know. We like to enjoy ourselves, man, you know.
If we don't
You can
understand
get
our
all that in the Google, you
But
know.
you see, here's a proverb. If you don't understand your past, you will not know where you're going in the future.
Yes, but
Because otherwise,
I can't change the past.
You wanna enjoy?
And we have only
I'm already enjoying.
few years, 20, 30, 40 years
exactly.
that we exist on Earth. I exist.
Exactly.
And for me, my time, I don't waste time to think what we have changed in the past, what we can change. So this one, what I can change, to be happy, to be healthy, it has to be friendly to other people.
Yeah.
Yeah?
To live in peace.
To live in peace.
Yes.
And don't ask, what is in the universe, what is all about Earth. I can't change it, and I don't have an answer for it.
Yes.
And my Ziel, my
Destination.
destination is to live in peace.
Yes.
My children have peaceful life. And this is only what I can answer, what I can,
That's
and what I can change.
what I'm saying,
Yeah.
you know, the
Yeah.
future.
But
Yes,
you,
Let's go and enjoy, you know.
Yeah.
Just
but you
enjoy.
believe in God, right?
What do you do for
Yes.
living, my friend? What do you do for
But
living?
I believe
look at
in
you
not
are a
in
sportsman.
the church.
No, not a sportsman.
or,
I'm a software
I don't know
developer.
how
What's
I
that?
can say. I don't go in church.
I'm develop software for banks.
Because
Oh,
this and one
right,
that
yeah.
I believe
Or you do sport
here,
a lot,
and for me,
Uh,
I
Or
thought
you
this
drink
talk
beer a
about-
lot, you know.
I mean, your
I can
partner
see
here-
that in your hand.
Your
No,
partner.
I do sports.
It's your husband.
Yes,
Your husband.
yes,
Sorry.
Yeah,
So
I
your
can
husband
see
just
that.
said something very interesting.
I'm a diver.
He said that he's a programmer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
You're a programmer.
Yes, yes.
So as a programmer, surely you would appreciate the fact that the universe has to have a programmer.
It could be, yes.
I mean, look.
I think there is anything who
Yeah.
is more intelligent as
I am working
as us.
in a
As us, yes.
as us.
So you do believe that there's something more intelligent than us, right?
Yes, but I think there is. We are not.
Yeah,
I
this is only what
They
I
say
can.
to you
I
in
have
the past,
no
3
idea
million
what it is.
What it is.
But
Okay.
it could be there is another species
Yes.
And
of
only
living.
what you can
What's your name, by the way?
Bjorn.
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 Hamza.
Hamza.
Hamza. Nice to meet you, Bjorn.
Nice to meet you, Hamza.
Bjorn. Look. I think you're an intelligent individual, and I think that you could
All
probably.
intelligent.
I think we are, and I think that intelligence can sort of lead us to a answer to the question of what brought the universe into existence. Whether it was a species, whether this species had to have been eternal itself, or whether this species required another species that required another
I know
species.
what I do to
So I think it's very important. I know your wife is saying that, look, we look to the future and we don't think about the past. But if we don't have an understanding and a grasp,
Because your question is very difficult. You can't really answer your questions right now about our being and so on.
but we're rational creatures, right?
We can make a discussion.
Yes,
about
exactly,
What
exactly.
is, what comes, what was.
And then from there we make the best value judgment that we can,
I
right?
think so. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes, yes.
So in life, human beings, you and I, we've reached an age in life where we want to try and make the best decisions. We've made mistakes in the past, we've learned from them, and we want to try and minimize those mistakes, right? Especially if we have children.
We should learn.
Yes, exactly.
Lessons learned.
Exactly. So from that, I think it's again a reasonable assumption that if new information comes our way and that challenges us, our old assumptions, and it makes us a better person, that I think it's a good idea to consider those ideas, and if they make us a better human being, that we incorporate that information into us, and we implement it.
Yeah.
We act upon it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, I'm fully on your side.
Excellent.
I agree with you.
Yeah. So that's this is where one of the things that Islam teaches is that God, in the Quran, our holy book, which we believe is from God, it literally asks these very fundamental questions
Yes, of course,
Like
because
for-
these are the fundamental questions
of life.
of life.
Yes.
Of life, yes.
Yeah. So the Quran, for instance, says, "Where then are you going? فَأَيْنَ تَذْهَبُونَ? Where are you going in life?"
And I'm a Jordanian.
Ah, okay.
My wife answered this question.
Yes.
Yes.
But I'm asking you. But for you, where are you going in life? And where have you come from? I'll give you a verse in the Quran. There's a verse in the Quran that says, "Or were they created from nothing?
I'm from Warsaw.
Or did they create themselves?
Country with my parents.
Or were they the creators of the heavens and the earth, meaning the universe?" Nigh, they have no certain knowledge.
86.
They have no certainty. It's a threefold question, and it's one of those questions I think it emphasizes the reality of where people sometimes don't want to think about these sort of fundamental questions. But those fundamental questions lead to an answer that could potentially make us the best version of ourselves that we could be.
Yes, it's true.
Like, for instance, if you're an atheist, you believe that there is no God. Your purpose here is just simply to live your life, to do the best that you think you can,
Yes, it's true.
and then die.
Okay.
But,
It starts and
and then it ends.
ends. And
But,
it's nothing.
exactly. But if there is a being that brought all this universe, everything that we see into existence, this being has to have certain qualities that those qualities would exceed our qualities. Like, you're a programmer, you know that before you went into a job, they had to test you to make sure that, you know what, this guy claims he has all these qualifications, but we need to make sure that he can do the job properly. So your name is Bjorn?
Yes.
Bjorn, we want you to do a test. We want you to do a programming. We want you to come in and do an interview. We're going to ask you questions. We're going to challenge you. We want to make sure that you have the information that you claim you have in order to take over the department or whatever it is that you're going to do, right? So likewise, you know that the thing that brought this universe into existence, it has to have a certain level of qualities. It can't be non-existent, so it has to be existent. It can't be without power. It has to have some level of power to bring the universe into existence. And if we have a look at the world, we know that as human beings who have power and who exist, we are constantly making decisions. And those decisions are based upon what's known as our volition or our will. We will to do something. You willed to come to the park. You're willing at this moment to talk to me.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
So we know that a thing that exists has to have power, has to have a will, right?
No.
And has to have other qualities as well. Knowledge, for instance.
Yeah.
Right? If you didn't have the knowledge, you wouldn't have got the job.
Yeah, right.
Right. So the universe, which has a certain level of complexity to it, the thing that brought the universe into existence has to have certain attributes. So it has to have knowledge. Because, look, the experts tell us that there are 4 fundamental forces. Some of them dispute and say 5. So you have the weak force, the strong force, the electromagnetic force, and so on and so forth. Right?
Okay, yes, that's right. Yeah.
And we know that the universe transformed from a state of utter chaos into a state of relative harmony, to the point where we human beings at the end of it all are now discussing these abstract questions about where we came from, how this universe came into existence,
And
where we're going.
Where we will go.
Exactly.
Yes,
Yeah.
So the thing that brought this universe into existence definitely has to have knowledge, because it implanted in this universe these fundamental forces that allow the universe to transform into the way it is. And this being has to have wisdom. Wisdom means what? Wisdom means putting everything in its rightful place.
Okay.
So this is the Islamic definition of wisdom.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Putting everything in its rightful place. To the point where if you take something and you put it in another place, shove it in there, it's not going to work.
Okay.
Yeah? It's going to be an unwise decision. And as human beings, we know through experience of life that we constantly go in life trying to make wise decisions based upon the knowledge that we have and the experience that we have. So if that's true for us small human beings who are insignificant, who only have a certain level of energy and power and so on and so forth, this should be more so for a being that brought us and the entire universe into existence.
Right.
So this goes back to the question that I asked. Or were they created by nothing? Nothing can't produce anything. Or did they create themselves? We know we didn't create ourselves. We know that through the fundamental laws of causes and effects, our mother and father came together and they produced us. Their mother and father, and all the way back to the beginning, right the way back to the beginning of the universe.
Yeah.
So then God says, or did they create the heaven?
Sorry? Yes, Griechenland auf Englisch.
How are you? Malcolm.
Sorry.
Long time.
That's right. Oh, and then God says at the end, or did they create the heavens and the earth? Now, obviously we didn't create the universe.
Yeah.
So therefore, they have no certain knowledge. So what God is drawing our attention to the fact is,
Yes.
as the Quran says, أَفِي اللَّهِ شَكْ. Is there any doubt? فَاتِرِ السَّمَوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. The one who originated the universe.
Yeah.
So what the Quran is guiding us to is to use our fundamental base understanding of life.
Is that what the Quran says?
Yes. So I'm giving you the Arabic as well. Right, so I've memorized the Arabic, I'm giving you the translation. But the Quran constantly it's challenging human beings. It's challenging human beings. Where are you going? Is there any doubt in the creator of the heavens and the earth? And it asks these fundamental questions. So for instance, the Quran says that we will show them our signs within the furthest horizons, meaning in the universe, and also within themselves, until it becomes obvious to them that this, the Quran, meaning from God, is the truth.
Yes.
Okay.
Right?
Surah Fussilat.
Yes, Fusilat.
Chapter 41.
Yes, so he knows it as well, I know it as well.
Okay.
So these questions are forcing human beings to think. In the Quran, God says that أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ. Do they not ponder deeply? أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ. Do they not use their intelligence? So these are questions, Bjorn, I think, if you were to go home and think about, you would realize that...
I think I have to think about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
The idea of atheism ultimately will lead you to concepts that could be harmful. Because why? Atheism says there's nothing outside of this universe. It's just us. So Bjorn, I could say to you, my good is my good, and you might say, I disagree with that. And I would say to you, Bjorn, prove it. Prove that your disagreement that my good is wrong, and your concept of good is good. Where would you go other than yourself?
It goes back to the earlier discussion when you and your missus said, we just want to be happy. We want to be good to everyone. We want to be nice to everyone. But then, like Brother Hamza mentioned, good and bad are subjective.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
even between you as a husband and wife, you might disagree. Okay, she might think something is good. You might say no, it's bad.
Something is bad. Yes, yes, of course. Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You know, going back to your work area, which is coding. Yeah. Do you know there is a code in your DNA?
Yeah.
Are you aware of that? Yes.
Sure. Yes.
Now, if I were to tell you that every code must have a coder, what would you say? Is that true or a false statement?
It's true.
True. Who coded your DNA?
It's a good question. Yes.
Is it? It is
Yes.
not only that.
Yeah, of course.
You know, if I were to tell you, like, let's say,
I'm not really sure if there is anything in person of one intelligence. I think there's more than one subject, one
agent. Let's say an agent. Yeah.
I think there is.
But you see, when you see design, when you see code, you will not assume this came by chance.
My friend,
Bye. Thank you.
we'll see you in this life. Huh?
We will see
Happy
you.
diving?
The second time.
Yeah.
Yes, I was just saying about the coder. You know, like I said, you as a coder will understand that code doesn't write itself.
Yes, of
Yes,
course,
it needs someone who had coded with intelligence, with a will to write it, and
This is my job.
yeah,
See,
exactly,
to understand, to improve,
Yeah.
and so on.
But when you see a piece of code, and if somebody tells you this just came by chance, what would you say to that person?
No.
You know, it's
Think about
local.
it. I know what do you want. Yes, but
Yes. So if you look around the entire universe, including the smallest thing within your cell, you know, your body has at least 100 trillion cells. And within each of those cells, there is the longest word with 3.4 billion letters. Imagine this, every cell, 100 trillion cells,
Every cell.
every
Yes,
cell
yes.
has this unique,
Yeah.
you know, sequence of letters, and the same exists in all your cells. There's no way it came by chance.
yeah.
Yes? There's no way. 100 trillion codes coming by itself, it's impossible, when even one is impossible. Yeah? So if this is what basically we come to the to an inference through deduction. We come that, yes, if it is coded, and if it is something as unique as that within every cell of your body, then surely there must be an intelligent agent who has a will to do that. For you to assume that it just came by chance would be like saying somebody wrote the code, one piece of code by itself. It just came by itself. And we are talking about an entire. This is, by the way, it's called the genetic code. You know this, right?
Yes.
The genetic code. And the scientists have now discovered that every human has this. And not only that code, it actually programs your next of kin, your progeny. So they'll get this maybe, slightly same colored eyes, which is a mix of two of you. Yes, your skin tone, your hair color. Yes, all of this is being coded so nicely. And it's not only stays there, it's passed on to the next generation. And then it becomes a new code. Because when the two...
Yes, of course.
Yeah, you know, when...
Right,
exactly.
New variation.
Yeah, when you have your DNS mix. Yeah. I know you want to go, but I just want to...
Can I ask, just before you guys go, have you guys read the Quran?
Bro, is that a Quran?
No, never.
You've never read the Quran?
Wait.
You know, I say to people, and we always say to people, that we owe it to ourselves to better understand our fellow human beings, that we at least try and understand where they're coming from.
Okay.
So, I'm not sure if I can get this to work. So just very quickly, before you guys go, this is the first chapter of the Quran.
Okay.
And if you've never read it, the German is there. It begins with, in the name of God, the most merciful, the most beneficent. So this is one of the two characteristics that we believe God has. He's merciful, extremely merciful to his creation, and he's extremely beneficent. And it begins that, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Say, all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of all that exists. Just like my brother was alluding to, that there's only one creator. And then God repeats, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, the merciful, the beneficent. Maliki Yawmiddin, the master of the day of judgment. Meaning that we human beings haven't been placed on this earth just to guess at what evil and good is, but that we have been told what good and evil is. And the one who designated this is the one who knows this universe better than we could ever know it. And that's the creator of the heavens and the earth. And then God says, it's only 7 verses, sorry.
No.
Yeah. So then God says, Maliki Yawmiddin, the master of the day of judgment. God said, Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'een. You alone, then God, so then this is where when we're worshipping God, we say, you alone we worship, and you alone we turn to for aid and assistance. Okay. Because ultimately, the one who brought this universe into existence is the one who controls the universe.
Yeah.
And then, Ihdina sirat al-mustaqim, guide us to the straight path. There's only one path, God says. There's only one truth, but because there's only one truth. Whatever that truth is, there can only ever be one truth.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And then,
I have
you gotta go.
only one question.
Yes.
We came from Germany. You know the city Solingen? I think 2 weeks ago there was in TV. It was in TV. You know what happened in Solingen 2 or 3 weeks ago? Someone killed 3 people and hurt 8 people in name of Allah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's very tragic. Same thing happened in Paris, but it was in the name of Jesus. This was last year.
Yes.
4 people
And
were
only
stabbed.
this is about not the reason for me to say one religion is good or bad or this is the best religion. No, we have also it's a Christian I don't know how much years ago here the Kreuzritter, I don't know the
cross.
Yes. Yeah. All religion, all people, not the religion made mistakes.
Yes.
The people made the mistakes.
Yes, they did.
Yes.
Yes.
And this is only what I can
You know,
say.
that person, whoever did that in the name of Allah, that is clearly not what the Quran teaches, like you correctly pointed out. See, this is what the Quran says. It says here, because of that we decree to the children of Israel that whoever kills a soul, unless for a soul of a corruption in the land, it is as if they have slain all of mankind entirely. So if you kill one person, it's like you're killing all the human beings.
Yes.
And then it goes on to say that if you have saved whoever saves one, it is as if they have saved all of mankind.
Also in the Bible, we have
That's
some
in 532,
sentence.
chapter
Yeah.
532.
I don't know how it goes
It's a free gift for you.
in English.
Have a read in your time and maybe...
fight. So
I think
this
I will
is how you interpret.
Thank you.
Interpret, yes.
Yes.
Yep. The scripture.
But no religion is bad. Yeah, and I think you have to go to the church or to the places where refugees are. This is the point where someone was lost and don't have a family, friends. and they turn to the back side.
They turn away.
Bad side.
Yeah.
Bad side. So why do you don't go to the refugees and told them, hey,
We do.
No.
The Muslims are
Yeah,
top in
this is-
charity when it comes to
yeah.
charity. In this country and all around the world, if you look at the number of charities that the Muslim organizations have, yes, they compete very well with the Christian charities. So you see, there are people who there, but there are also people who want, people who are walking on the streets and who would never go to a church or a mosque. This is where we come in. So we have to, awaken the people who are asleep. Yes, I'm not saying you're asleep, you're an intelligent person, but the thing is sometimes your fitra, which we call your natural inclination, is sometimes is clouded. So for example, you talked about living a good life, yes. But you see, earlier I was telling your husband, like, good and bad are subjective. What might be good for you might not be good for him.
Yeah.
Yes, so who do we appoint as the arbitrator? God,
Yeah.
because he's the one who created us.
Yeah,
Yes?
yeah.
You might not disagree with it because you obviously are, I don't know if you're agnostic or atheist, but this is something we see throughout the life, Like even amongst agnostic and atheists, they have differences. Yes, they don't all agree. So what we need in order to have justice, in order to have harmony, in order to have peace and love, we need to establish justice. And because justice is something that is missing in all the conflicts around the world. Wherever there's a conflict, the key thing that is missing is not love, but justice. Because without justice, even love takes a backstage, How will you have love if there is injustice all the time? Yeah, take the case of Palestine today. Yes? Anyone who says that we love the Palestinians and then bombs them to smithereens doesn't know what love is. Yeah? That shows the hypocrisy of the reality of this world. That all we do is pay lip service to love. But justice takes the backseat. And look at any conflict, whether it's started by religious people or by atheists or agnostic, there's always bound to be the center of that is the injustice. Yes. And like you guys are intelligent people.
Sorry, I have really to make a break because we have an appointment in 20 minutes.
No problem, Bjorn.
So we have
Thanks for your time.
We have to go.
Yeah,
Thank you,
Thank you, my friend.
for the interesting
No problem.
talking, and I
Anytime.
will read the
Yeah.
Quran
And then-
think about the questions.
And then show your
Thank
children the video when it's
Oh,
online.
my children.
Surprise them, yeah?
Yeah, now our children stay in India.
Note down the name
now,
of the channel.
and,
Down
you
the
don't- It's okay.
Okay.
No
All right.
problem.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take
Have a good day.
Take
Have a good
care.
time as well.
Bye.
Take care, guys.
Yeah, like it.
I mean.